All right, tonight we are talking about healing and our partners not being on this journey with us, and not as proof that the relationship is a failure or that people don't love each other. We're just going to talk about what happens and normalize and take the shame out of nervous system, different timings, and things like that. That's our topic tonight. I'm Coach Amber. Welcome to I was gonna say TikTok, but you'll probably be seeing this on YouTube, so there we go. Welcome, Wolf Reaper. Tim, welcome in. Hello. Thank you for the heart me. Long time no see. Hope you had a great holiday. Tonight we are talking about healing and our partners are not on the journey with us, and we're going to talk about what that's like for the person on the healing journey, what that's like for the partner who's not healing, and we're going to take the shame out of it. We're going to take the shame out of questioning, are we still supposed to be in this relationship? Does this person still love me? Yeah, this is a big one, especially for my healing journey besties who are in partnerships or, relationships where their partner is not on the same journey as them. So this is for you. This is for me. Oh, yeah, it's so tough. I'm so sorry. Well, how about this? I speak that there is peace and clarity, and that for whatever, you don't abandon yourself. Yeah. And I don't want to say sorry because maybe it's a good thing for you. Who knows? I was married for 10 years before my current marriage, and it was a blessing to get out of that marriage. So I don't want to tell anybody sorry. But sorry as in, that's not what we set out to do, right? I never set out to divorce the person that I decided to marry. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about, is it that we're going to talk about the difference between capacity and character, because a lot of people get this confused too. Carol, welcome in. And this isn't to say this is what you should do or shouldn't do. This is just talking about what happens to our nervous systems, so we have better information about what's happening to us and our partners. I know that this was a huge thing for me. In my marriage, on my healing journey, it was rough. Welcome in, everybody. Oh, of course. TG, welcome in. Hi, Mama. Thank you. Barbie, welcome in. You guys, tonight we are talking about being on a healing journey, and our partners are not on this healing journey with us, and what that does to our nervous system, what that does to their nervous system, what that means for our relationship, what that means for you. This isn't going to be telling you what to do. This is going to be giving you information and a better understanding so that we can stop abandoning ourselves, and taking the shame out of a lot of feelings that being in a relationship with somebody who isn't healing brings up. because there's a lot of shame in that. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks, Mama. Little victories. Welcome in. Shirley, welcome in. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Love of twos, welcome in. Let's go. High five, Tim. Psh, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Holly's in the house. Let's go. Hello, Holly. Robert, welcome in. Let's go. Mason! Mason's in the house. Michael, welcome in. Christy, welcome in. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here, you guys. Tonight we are talking about being on this healing journey, and our partners are not with us on this healing journey. They are not doing the same things that we're doing. They're not doing the healing. What does that mean for us? What does that mean for them? What does that say about us? What does that say about them? What does that mean for our relationships? We're going to take the shame out of all of it. Yeah, this is a tough one. Kristen, welcome in. This is a good one, though. It's a good, tough one. AMG, welcome in. Okay, let's see. We'll give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. I would not even entertain dating someone if they have not done the work to heal from their past. So two things, I hear you. And this is beautiful that you are like, you know what? I know what I want. I know what kind of person I want to be in a relationship with. I love that. That's beautiful. I totally dig that, and high five. Yes. With that, I don't believe that we're ever going to be healed from our past. I believe that having understanding of what happens to us is huge and helpful. I don't believe that we ever get rid of triggers. I believe that we understand them and can stop abandoning ourselves in them and things like that. But I think that no matter if we're in a relationship with somebody who is also healing, it's still going to be tough. There's still going to be shit that we go through, and we're going to have to, hash out. But having a partner who's willing to do that, that's, to me, the key. Having a partner who's willing to learn and navigate and understand and go through the shit with you, that's a game changer. Codependent, yes. And what we're looking for is interdependence. We have independent, codependent, interdependent. And that is where we have a good, healthy, it is. Yes, I agree, Robert. A good, healthy dose of being able to be there for ourselves and being able to be there for the other person. Reacting versus responding, yes, all of that. And we're gonna have moments where we do react, but being able to be aware of that shit, that's the key, right? And being able to repair. Because we're going to disconnect, but it's about, are we able to reconnect? Are we able to repair and reconnect? Thanks for being here, Robert. I appreciate it. Are you new here? Welcome in. Yeah, right, Holly? Awesome. I appreciate you. Well, stick around. Okay. So, one of the things that I really want to talk about tonight is that I want to normalize all the thoughts and feelings that we have when we're in a relationship that the other person is not healing with us, or not doing maybe the things that we think that they should be doing, the way that they should be doing them, I just want to say that it's normal and natural and healthy to question. Okay? Thank you for the follow, Robert. I appreciate you. It's normal, natural, and healthy to question. Should I stay with this person? Does this person really love me? Do I really love them? What does this mean about our relationship? Those are healthy and normal, natural questions, natural conversations with ourselves. The thing is, we do not always have to do something with those. Tyson, welcome in. I want to say this again. We do not always have to do something immediately with those thoughts. Okay? Oftentimes we feel like because we had the thought or the feeling that we have to act on it right away. So I just want to put that out there, okay? One, this allows us to honor what we're feeling. Lindsay, welcome in, okay? This allows us to honor whatever we're feeling. Okay, when we're in a relationship and we're doing all this work, we're going to therapy, we're reading the books, we're doing shadow work, we're journaling, we're regulating our nervous system, we're getting healthy in our mind, body, and spirit, and we're doing all the things, right? And our partner is like, nah, that's not for me. That's cool for you. That's not cool for me. This is not what I want to do. Jordan's in the house. Alyssa in recovery is in the house. Welcome in. Psh, Lindsay. So, I don't even know where I was going with that. Damn it. Unequally yoked. I thought about that. I'm not going to lie. It was like a church trigger for me. So I had to really sit in that, the unequally yoked. But that is what first came to my mind, Robert. And it is, I mean, yeah, it's basically what it means. Lindsay, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. If you're new here, hi. Tara's in the house. Tara. Let's go. So quick shout out to my mods. We have Tara and Holly. They're amazing. They have my back. They got your back. If I miss something, they got y'all covered. So please tag them if I miss a question or something like that. They do the amazing job posting and pinning things. So thank you guys. Two cannot walk together without being in agreement in what the Bible says. I mean, if that's for you, yes, I agree. I went down that road. That's a whole other, I think we did spirituality and religious trauma. I don't know when we covered that, but I know all about that. I was a churchgoer for many, many years. So I see you, I understand and honor all the things. All right. Yes. Happy New Year. It's been a minute. It was last year. You're right. For me, this year kind of just meshes together because my life is kind of changing in April. And so I feel like that's when my new year is going to start. I'm we and things like that. So it just still feels like kind of the same year for me, but all right. Where the fuck was I? We were talking about, oh yeah, the kind of what Robert was saying, the unequally yoked, right? Like being with somebody that is not on the same healing journey as you, right? And what that means, and really taking the shame out of questioning when we begin to heal, and when we have a partner who is not, of course there's going to be questions that arise. Is this relationship still for me? Do I still love this person? Does this person still love me? What does this mean for us? I got you, Robert. Hold on. So first, I just want to really take the shame out of questioning. Okay? It is actually extremely healthy and normal and natural to have those questions. In saying that, we don't have to act on them right away just because we are questioning. But having them is healthy. Oftentimes, and we've been told in different circles and things like that, if you even question that, if you even think about not wanting to be with your partner, then that means that you don't love them anymore or that you shouldn't be together. That's not the case. That could be the case in some situations, but we're slowing it down. It is very normal and natural and healthy to pause and question, what am I doing? What are we doing? Is this still what I want? Because I say that to take the shame out of it. Okay? Oftentimes we can feel like maybe we don't love our spouse or our partner as much because we have those questions, because that fear comes up, those thoughts come up. Maybe, do I want this? Do I still want to be with this person? And then we feel guilty and shame for even thinking that, because it's like, oh, maybe then I don't love this person. Maybe they're not for me anymore, right? And so instead of just sitting in that feeling and honoring it, we ping pong around because fear. And so just really, it's okay to have those. This is a permission you don't need to have those thoughts, feelings, and questions. Okay? It's normal, it's natural, and it's healthy. If you have questions about that, throw it in the chat. Okay, Robert says, so how much do you waver before it begins to breach your personal boundaries? This is huge, okay? And so much of what we talk about here is the sacred middle, okay? Is being able to not abandon yourself while also not having to do anything. What does that look like? Right? So in this just simple context, we're talking about having those thoughts and feelings about, is this person for me? Do I still love them? Do they still love me? Are we right for each other because we're not healing at the same capacity, right? So let's slow it down. The way that you do that, holding your boundaries and not abandoning yourself, is sitting in that feeling, getting really curious about where you feel that in your body. What's really coming up? Is it fear that you might be alone again in the relationship? Fear that, just getting curious. That maybe I'm settling, right? And as we're talking about that, even my heart is beating fast because it feels like we have to do something. I have to do something with that. And Robert, like you were saying, responding versus reacting. When these thoughts come up, right? Are we reacting? And we're like, we have to do something. We have to leave this relationship that we've outgrown them and we have to leave. And I know my worth. That's it. I'm gone. Right? And I'm not saying that maybe that's not for you, but are we pausing? Are we taking time to slow down and sit in the uncomfortability of feeling all of that before we react? Yes. Fine line between outgoing grace and internal respect. This is why I talk about grace with fire. You can have grace, but it's about not abandoning yourself. Okay, it's about not abandoning yourself. And we can talk more about that, but I really want to get into some key points about what happens to our nervous system in this situation. Okay? And what happens to the other person? This is just information. This isn't to tell you to stay. This isn't to tell you to go. We're in this space and we're pausing in this space. And it can be scary. It can be uncomfortable because we want to do something. Do we stay? Do we go? That black or white, right or wrong, excuse me. And we want to do something, right? And we are going to talk about the different attachments and how it comes into play in this scenario. Okay. So, normalizing all those thoughts. Normalizing and questioning, do we love them? Do they love us? All of those are normal. All of the questions, all of the thoughts, all of the feelings that come up are normal and natural. I just want to say that, okay? Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. We've already talked about emotional affairs. Welcome, Katie. Welcome in. This space right here is the biggest gap in space where emotional affairs happen because you are extremely vulnerable and you want to do something in this space. Okay? I just want to throw that out there. There's no shame, no shade, none of that. Copy that. I've talked about it. I've had an emotional affair. All about that. This is why I'm coming to share with you guys. This space is extremely vulnerable. This is why I want to take as much shame out of this space as possible so that we can actually go where we want to go. Liam is in the house. Welcome in. Thank you, Holly. Yes. So for my girlies, we have 5 to 7 p.m. after this live, we have the Sacred Middle. This is a space for just women, small women's group where we dive super deep into these topics. And so make sure you grab your seat. Lima, you're good. This is the season for Hermit, right? This is the season to slow down. April, welcome in. Okay, so tonight we're talking about being on a healing journey when your partner is not as a relationship failure, not as someone doing it wrong, and not as proof that love is gone. Robert's speaking our language. Okay. So we're going to cover why healing often happens unevenly in relationships, what the nervous system is trying to regulate as one person changes, why insight and communication does not close this gap. You could talk all about it. You could have great communication. That is not going to fix all of this space. Is it helpful? Hell yes. Is it going to fix it all? No. Okay? Because that's logic, but a lot of this lives in our body. And so we got to talk about that. Why one body healing can feel destabilizing to the other. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the other person in this and what they might be going through. Okay, not as a way to make you feel like you have to stay or to guilt you into feeling something else. It's for understanding. Okay, because our bodies and our trauma response can tell us something very different about our partner in this space. And so we want to make sure that we are pausing and we are getting curious about what is actually happening for the other person versus the story that our trauma is telling us. We shape the dynamic. Healing resets boundaries and expectation. It doesn't always mean leaving. Yes. We're going to talk about that. Basically, what this space is a nervous system timing gap. Okay. You could be in a relationship with somebody that loves you very much and that you love very much and that wants to stay in a relationship with you and wants to work it out, not necessarily in the same way you do, but it feels like a battle, a war, because you're like, this isn't working. I don't know what to do in this space, right? I'm healing, my partner's not. It could just be a nervous system time gap. Okay. And we're going to talk so much more about that in the sacred middle. But basically, it just means when one body updates a sense of safety before the other does. Okay. You can say definitely. We love comments in the chat. Yeah, chat it up. You're good. So the other partner's nervous system is still organized around the old patterns. Okay, so the person healing is creating new safety and new regulation and new patterns, and it is changing everything for that person, but also for your partner. Okay, so when your partner, everything that they knew about you is changing. Not everything, but a lot of things, right? And so what that does to their nervous system, it says, wait, is this still safe? This isn't familiar. What I want to touch on, what I want to say about one thing about that is that, shit, where is it? I have so many notes. I do this all the time. Basically, we are created for connection, right? And through Bowlby attachment, where's that note? I know it's in the that is through repetition, attunement, oh yeah. And this is where we talk about co-regulation and interdependence, okay? Got you. You're okay. Yep, exactly. His hasn't caught up yet. And that's exactly what the nervous system timeline gap is. And that's what we're talking about, 100%. I literally hate love because I constantly have to treat myself as being the eldest daughter. We don't have to, right, Lima? And this is, family dynamic systems and things like that. But I work with women to stop having to abandon themselves in these family systems and in yourself and your family with your loved ones. I get it. I'm the eldest daughter. And so I have lived that. I have experienced that. And I am always learning how to not abandon myself in those situations, right? But this goes back to what we're talking about. Is we are created for connection, okay? And one of the things too that I want to say is that as children, we learned safety outside of ourselves before we learned safety within ourselves. Okay? So science proves through lots of different things, through Bowlby, through neuroscience, through the polyvagal, all these different things that we learn safety or not safety outside of ourselves before we learned it inside of ourselves. Okay? So when most of us never got that safety, it's been very confusing. Okay? Yeah. That makes sense, Lima. So many of us have. Colorblind Chaos Creations, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate you. If you guys have questions, please throw them in the chat. I am trying to get through as much as possible before 5 o'clock. Madeline! In family systems, love can feel threatening when closeness once meant danger, control, or loss of self. Yes, walking on eggshells can be emotionally destructive for everybody. And that is a way that we have adapted to keep ourselves safe, okay? Because we have learned that when we keep others happy, we're able to feel okay. Basically, when our caregivers, whoever that was prominent in our childhood, we wanted to stay connected to them at any cost. Okay, so we did whatever we could as children to stay connected to them. Welcome in, everybody. This is where most of our attachments and adaptations show up, is because we picked up those coping mechanisms to survive. Let me make sure I'm on the right internet. Okay, I am. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. If you have questions, colorblind, just throw them in the chat. Okay. So we're going to talk more about the science behind attachment and in the sacred middle. But like Tara was saying, this is a nervous system gap. It can be, okay? It can be a nervous system timing gap. Thank you. I appreciate you. So this isn't about effort. It's not about love or commitment. It's about capacity and pacing. Okay, capacity and pacing. And I am not saying this for every relationship. Okay, I'm saying let's just look at our relationships through a different lens and see if this applies. Okay, this doesn't apply for abusive or all of these other different relationships and connections. This, I am not telling you to stay or go. I'm giving you information to help you understand what the fuck is happening to you, and maybe also to help you understand what the fuck is happening to your partner as well. Okay, so when someone begins healing, their nervous system changes first before the relationship does. Okay, their baseline shifts. Things that once felt tolerable may now feel loud, heavy, and unsafe. Informational purposes only. Yes, thank you. And oftentimes it's not a preference, it's a sensitivity, because the body's safety system is updating. Okay, so that's one huge thing that oftentimes that we don't talk about. I'm going to write this down as a topic, is that when we begin to heal and on this healing journey, and we talk about regulation and we talk about triggers and things like that. Tess, hi, sweetheart. Is that we have this weird thought process that we're going to be less triggered and things will bother us less. And this often creates a lot of shame, because as we're healing, we are removing coping mechanisms, we're removing masks, we're removing abandoning ourselves. That means that we're more exposed, and we're probably going to feel more sensitive than we were before. Okay, that doesn't always mean that we're gonna stay exactly that way, but it does mean that just to be aware of it, because we don't talk about that. I feel like this is where you can do spiritual bypassing, in my opinion. If you don't feel There's a lot of people who say, that I've done this healing journey and I don't feel anything. Nothing triggers me. I don't feel. From my science research and personal experience and coaching and all the training, that is not human nature. That is bypassing. Okay? That is another coping mechanism to block feeling. Now, that is not to say that things won't lessen, right? And things may shift and some triggers or traumas may not affect us the same way. But I don't believe that not feeling anything is healthy. It's about what we do with those feelings. What was the topic? I was going to write it down. If somebody remembers what not feeling anything is healing, what was right before that? Yeah, we get to have the full human experience. I think it was like right before that. I don't remember. Maybe that was it. I don't know now. Oh well, if it's meant to be, it will come back. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. There's still time to no, you're good. To purchase your sacred middle seat. Okay, thank you. Lima, I appreciate you. Yeah. I will write that down just in case. Maybe there was just another aspect to it. Okay, so for the other person, right? We're gonna talk more about that in the sacred middle. So this is about one nervous system recognizing while the relationship is still structured around the old baseline. So like we were talking about that difference of this is the way that it was and it's not that way. And so what that does to the other person's nervous system, it can cause a lot of fear, guilt, shame, fear of abandonment, right? Does this person still love me? It creates a lot of shame it can create a lot of shame in them of not being enough, not being able to rise to what you're asking. And this brings up another really big portion of this that I want to talk about is that capacity over character. Sometimes it's about their ability of the capacity in which they can change at the rate and information versus a character flaw, right? And so a lot of the fear that comes up when we are healing and our partner is not healing is that they're never going to be able to provide what I need, right? And our urgency and our feeling then also goes to them, and they're like, maybe I am not enough, right? Not all of the time, but many men already don't feel enough. Women too. But I just kind of want to hold some space for our men right in this second, is that men already feel a lot of times inadequate and not enough. And so this can trigger that more. And vice versa for women as well. But having that understanding that that can happen to them, right? Because oftentimes in this healing journey, we swing pendulums. Okay, so most people are on the anxious attachment side, or a lot of people are. Okay. And so they swing to the more detached, and that is healthy. They have to experience that, right? But then it can feel cold and avoidant to the partner, right? And if you are more avoidant and detached, you can swing towards the more anxious, which can feel really scary for your partner, depending on if they're avoidant or anxious, right? And we're going to talk about the different nervous system and how they work, like anxious, and if you are both avoidant and you're both anxious, things like that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the Sacred Middle. Also, I want to remind you guys, I have a free 30-minute connection call. If any of this is resonating with you, go to my Linktree, schedule your 30-minute session with me. It's just 30 minutes, you and I, on a connection call. So I work with people one-on-one, men and women. My passion is helping women learn how to not abandon themselves anymore and create some solid ground within yourself. But I see you guys. I see you men out there, and know that you are not alone either. So the body has learned, because connection once depended on not changing too much. Okay. The body, Swanky! Hello, lovely. Your body learned that at some point, connection was once depended on not changing too much. With whatever that meant for you and what that looked like, whether that was staying small, being big, whether it was avoiding or trying to pursue, whatever that meant for you, it was your body learned that consistent pattern kept connection. Okay? So when something is changed, your body's like, excuse me, the fuck? This isn't safe. This is not what I signed up for, right? Here's what I want to say that we don't talk about a lot, because we're fed all of this fairy tale shit, social media and movies and the supposed to be's of what relationship looks like. And stability matters more than happiness to the survival brain. Okay, stability matters more than happiness to the survival brain. Okay, so when you're trying to keep safe, whatever has kept you safe, you are more likely to want to do, even if it's not the healthiest choice, because that feels the safest. Okay? So a lot of people will also stay in relationships that they're not happy in because it is predictable and that feels safe. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. Do you, boo-boo? Whatever is right for you. But I'm just giving you information and knowledge, helping you understand what happens to yourself. Because oftentimes, controlled chaos, yes, I was in a relationship for 10 years that was not healthy. Everyone told me to leave, and it took me 10 years to leave. And I got a lot of judgment and shame and guilt and, why didn't you leave sooner? If you have never been in a situation where you craved safety more than happiness, or it didn't feel safe to leave, or all of these things, you may not understand. And that's okay. But it is because our brain says predictability equals safety. That's why people stay. Yes, no one can tell you when and if it's time, only you will know. Facts. Healing disrupts familiar regulation, even if it's healthy. So the partner, you, whoever's healing, may feel steadier, yet more alone, which can feel extremely confusing and scary. This is why I started this conversation with having thoughts and questions is healthy, normal, and natural. Okay? The healing partner can also feel like hurt, can feel grief and hurt, that the process feels threatening, or that progress feels threatening. A lot of times too, it can be really scary if you are working on stepping, how do I want to say, not abandoning yourself and honoring what you're feeling. Denise Maria. This can be really tough because you are stepping into that where you haven't, right? And if you also in the past used your what is the word I want to use? If you have used basically your power and your voice to hurt other people, this can also be scary for you and your partner. It's all scary. Okay, so it's, yeah, it is. Two things I want to say. Healing increases sensitivity, not superiority. A lot of times, us on the healing journey can feel like we're better or superior or more awake, whatever you want to use the word. Smarter, more loving, more emotionally aware. We can easily slip into better than, less than. A superiority trap. Yep, yes, just another form of the drama triangle. And I think Jess, do you have a pinned video of you talking about the drama triangle on your page? Healing increases sensitivity, not superiority. Okay? It increases vulnerability and capacity. Sometimes capacity, depending on what it is, but it could also lower some capacity, okay? A lot of times people, will say that on their healing journey, they now can't do conversations or loud noises or something like that. Yes, check out Jess's page. Cool. So looking at also, are we interpreting capacity as character? Are we confusing capacity and character? Okay, I am guilty of this. Y'all, I don't talk to you guys about any topic that I haven't personally experienced and dove into and got counseling on and did shadow work through and all of that, okay? So there is no judgment when I'm talking about this. I am speaking to myself. I have experienced this with my husband. My husband has experienced it with me, I'm sure. Okay, is the difference between character and capacity. Okay? So capacity is nervous system based. Character is about values and care. Okay? Capacity is how much emotion a body can hold, how much conflict feels survivable, and how much change is possible right now. Okay? Capacity changes with stress, support, and nervous system safety state. Nervous system state. Do you guys have questions about that? Our time is already almost out. I never get to all of it. So that's capacity. Character reflects care, honesty, commitment, values over time. Character is relatively stable, okay? Capacity is not. Capacity can fluctuate. When capacity gets misread, it sounds like they shut down. They don't care about me. They need space. They're selfish. They can't engage. They're refusing. Often it's not character. Often it's not about you at all, or how much they love you, or how much they care about you. It's at their own capacity. Okay? It's a capacity edge under stress. Do what you want with that information, but I think it's really valuable to also have that understanding. Elena, I'm very little capacity at this time. Most people do. It's a really tough time. And trauma, capacity goes way down less, right? Support, capacity goes down less. So this is a space to just slow down. When you're questioning your relationship, you're questioning your partnership, could it be capacity or is it character? Could it, one of the big things that for me personally is important is my partner's not going to be perfect, y'all. I'm not fucking perfect. So my partner's not going to be perfect, right? But is my partner willing to work on things? Is my partner willing? And are they able to, even if slowly, work to repair, reconnect, continue to work on the connection? To me, that's a really big one. Is there any questions? So again, this is a space when shadow dances happen when two nervous systems protect old wounds instead of meeting in the present. Yes. And oftentimes creating safety. Okay, as a personal example, when I started my healing journey, I actually created a lot more unsafety before I created safety, because I had to learn all about my shit and work through my shit. And then I was able to learn to create safety for my partner. That is hard. It is hard when you have core differences, right? And here's the thing really fast about that is sometimes there is non-negotiables. You have to, really think about what you're able to live with, right? For me, again, I know my partner's not going to be perfect, but him and I have talked about this. We've been through hell and back quite a few times, okay? He had an affair with my best friend. I had an emotional affair. We've been through some shit. So when I come to y'all and talk about this, it is not out of we're just in this la-di-da, all hunky-dory, okay? We are learning to repair. We're doing the things. Ryan! Hello, Ryan. We have 5 more minutes, but we're building bridges, okay? If you are the healing one, it is, there's no way around it. It's a lot of work to build a bridge and to be an example, to create safety, to have somebody meet you there. This is why it's so vital to have a coach, a counselor, a therapist, somebody who can hold space for you in a capacity that is going to give you what you need. Okay, oftentimes, I love best friends, I love soul sisters, but oftentimes it's not the capacity in which you need, because they may even fuel the fire. They may even help you go deeper into an old pattern. So you just have to really be aware, right? And oftentimes, if they're too close to you, when you're not okay, they're not okay. You need somebody who can be okay when you're not okay. You need stability and to create safety and some solid ground for you to stand on so that you can learn to stop abandoning yourself, okay? If you have somebody, your support that you're going to, that gets triggered and disappears or goes into their coping mechanism when you're not okay, that's not going to help you. Okay, this is why I walk alongside women, Kendra, and help them do that. I help them create safety first within a connection so they can create safety within themselves. Right, Sarah, right. Yes, they're too close. Too close. Shoot, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, the bridge. Okay, so it does. I want to tell y'all, okay, when I started this healing journey, I got safety, understanding, validation, emotional attunement. I got all of that from my counselor, from my coach. Okay, I didn't know what that felt like. I didn't know what that meant. I never experienced that before. How could I give something I never experienced? Okay, so whatever information you are gaining, safety you are gaining, your partner doesn't have that same experience as you. Okay? They may not have gotten that same safety that you did. And so, and I'm not saying you're responsible for their healing. Okay? But I am saying in a connection where you're both trying to make it work, safety is essential. And they may not have experienced safety. But again, I'm not saying that you are responsible for creating all of that safety. They can go out and get a coach and themselves. Dallas, hello, lovely. Also with that, you know, it is really hard to be one person's when you are connected, when in a relationship, it is really tough often to be okay when your partner is not okay. This is why I highly suggest having an outside source, a coach, therapist, somebody who's not immediately connected to you to create safety. not all of the time, but statistically, maybe not now, but statistically, men will are less likely to go get help from an outside source. And so what happens, or vice versa, right? One person in the connection is willing to seek outside, but then the other person is like, doesn't. And so you have, these are your options, right? Am I gonna create safety here, or am I just gonna call it quits because they don't want to go seek help? Now, again, I'm not telling you what the fuck to do. I'm giving you information, what's happening to them, what might be happening to you. We're going to talk more about this in the Sacred Middle, so we have 2 minutes left. Throw your questions in the chat. There's still time to go buy your seat. So, gotta do a puzzle really fast. What I really want to leave you guys with is, let's just take the shame out of questioning. Okay. When you are on this healing journey, y'all, it's going to be fucking lonely. I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. This is tough. It's oftentimes lonely and confusing and frustrating. So I'm not going to sit up here and tell you it's all butterflies and rainbows. Is it fucking worth it? Hell yes. Is it easy? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Periscooter! Oftentimes it isn't fun. You are right. And this is definitely not for the faint of heart. That's for damn sure. Okay, so but what I'm saying to you is that pause. And maybe sit in these feelings. And maybe sit with them for a few, without having to do anything, and get curious. Okay? Punch something else, maybe not the air. Yeah, I feel you. Yes. But before we go any further, I just want to take the shame out of questioning. Okay, if you're the one healing, I see you. I see that it's lonely and it's frustrating, and we want to do something. We want to do something. We're so used to doing something, making a decision, leaving, staying. We have to make the right decision. What is the right decision? And if we could just pause and slow down, no matter what we choose, let's start with taking the shame out of feeling what we're feeling. And really get curious about what the fuck we're feeling before we move on to what our partner is doing or not doing. Because if we bypass these moments, guess what? Even if you leave and you find somebody new, the pattern is going to repeat. Why? Because we're fucking human. And we are created for connection. And you're going to keep growing, and you're going to keep getting triggered, and you're going to keep doing the things that you're doing. Get into your body. When you feel alone in this, where do you feel that in your body? Do you feel it heavy in your chest? Does it bring you back to a moment as a child? Because sometimes this has nothing to do with your partner and still to do with you and that little girl or that little boy inside not wanting to be abandoned. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Next week, we are talking about covert contracts and expectations and connections and friendships and relationships and what that means. This is Tara's jam. She always talks about covert contracts. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. here, TikTok, and then 5 p.m. Sacred Middle over on Zoom. You can check the link tree and purchase a ticket. The week after that is we're talking about we don't want to heal anymore because this shit is bullshit. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Remember, fuck perfect. Have a great night. I'll see you in the Sacred Middle. Bye.